Resistance is futile.
Boldly going where no show has gone before. This is The Week in Geek with David D. Squared and Brian Held. Heard live on News Talk 99.5 WRNO and the iHeartRadio app. Here are your hosts, Brian Held and D. Squared.
Greetings, people of Earth. This is The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. I'm your host, D Squared, along with
Brian Held.
Brian Helm. How the hell are you, buddy?
Man, I'm good. We stopped at the Bad Wolf the other night. Kind of hang out for a while. It was good stuff.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been slaving away in front of my damn house in Jefferson Parish and frickin' rockin' frick-a-frack.
Well,
let's just say I'm doing a lot of yard work, and they can kiss my rectum.
all right.
Rectum damn near killed me.
Oh, geez.
All right, so what do we got on today's show? We're gonna bring a blast from the past back in this first segment, and then we've got our boy Scungy with his pick of the week, and we got another interview you knocked out today. Who was it?
Damon Breland. He's the owner of Smitty's Super Service out near Hattiesburg, and that is a recreation of the Rock-afire explosion from Showbiz Pizza.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Alex Cannon won the birthday party out there.
Right, so we're actually on the 25th. We're going to go out there and hang out with him.
Yeah, both of my kids got events. I'm the luckiest boy in the world. I can't go have fun anymore.
Right.
And then, as always, we'll close out the show with This Week in Geek History. All right, are you ready to do something smart and fun?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And now, your top nerd news stories from around the world, brought to you by the Viridian Tea Company. Find them on Etsy. And now, your top nerd news stories. All right, Brian, what's starting us off?
So, interestingly enough, Chris Pine and Chris Hemsworth have left the production for Star Trek 4.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so they're trying to go through, ramping up to make Star Trek 4, and Pine and Hemsworth have walked away from the deal.
How is that even how does Kirk walk away?
Because it's over money, right?
Oh my God, what a bee.
Well, so apparently, they're trying to say that they're going to pay them less, and actually I sort of agree with them at this point because they're in contracts. Right?
Okay.
And so they're saying, well, we really can't afford to pay you that much. And this ain't a Marvel blockbuster that's going to make $1 billion. So,
wow.
Which may, say that the last Star Trek movie might have lost some money on the deal.
Probably. I mean, it wasn't all that great. I mean, it was okay. It was serviceable.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, yay, best movie ever.
So, I don't know what they do because, they were going to bring back Hemsworth to be his father again. There's going to be some sort of flashback deal.
Has
but
Star Trek done anything right yet?
No.
I mean, they really haven't.
No, they haven't. And apparently they're redesigning the Klingons again for Discovery.
Oh, my God, no.
Yeah, there's going to be some changes in Season 2. Yeah, it's a lot of crazy.
What's wrong with these people?
Because
how about they just rewatch the original series and they just mimic that?
I believe that CBS and Paramount do not understand their property anymore. That's my honest belief.
Good.
So
It's all the millennials' fault.
Oh, geez.
That's what it is. The millennials.
No.
I have no idea why, but that's the common scapegoat.
No.
I blame millennials.
No, they're too beat down to be the cause of the issue.
But
it's baby boomers that are all in control, right?
no, they're not. They're dead now.
No, they're not. They're baby boomers are still alive. Come
Sure,
on.
they technically.
All right, so the other big thing on my list is the Oscars are changing because you, Dave, aren't watching anymore.
I've never been watching.
You what? You don't watch the Oscars? You
No,
don't
I don't care about it's a bribe fest. I mean, they give all these packages away to all the. I mean, as soon as you go to the Oscars, you get a prize pack that's worth like $1 million freaking dollars, and then they spend all this money for billboards, and it's crap.
Yeah,
No.
but you don't believe these actors are working
No.
very hard to
Half the
deserve
time, the
all that?
Oscars, nobody even seen the movie.
Well, and I think that's probably part of the problem. One, it's too long. It's like 4 hours long, right?
Yeah.
And, and it's a lot of movies that people haven't seen or don't necessarily
right.
care about. So, yeah.
I mean, it's not even artsy-fartsy films either. I mean, I like an artsy-fartsy film here and there, but I mean, come on. Most of the stuff is just like, our buddy who's, hasn't gotten an Oscar in a while or whatever. It's filled with nepotism. That's the big word of the day.
Well, they have seen their numbers of viewership declining over the years, and it's gotten really, really bad. And without boring you with the numbers, the network has gone to the Academy to say, look, guys, you need to absolutely make some changes because this is not tenable anymore. And they actually conceded. They agreed that maybe it's a little bit tedious, so apparently it's going to be shortened to 3 hours. They're gonna handle some of the awards over commercial breaks. They're moving it up earlier in the year, and there's going to be a popular blockbuster sort of category, right?
Okay.
So that the average layman can have something to relate to, Black Panther made $1 billion, and we're going to award them the Oscar for best popular blockbuster, and
I'm going to go watch the Razzies now.
You're going to watch
that's
the
it,
Razzies?
I'm done.
Hey,
I'm done.
That's pretty good stuff.
Ugh,
all right, so
suck.
We're running a
Naomi Novik.
Naomi Novik. From when? Do you remember?
It was July 8th.
Okay.
July 8th is when you knocked out this interview. So here you go, Naomi Novik.
This is Brian Held with the Week in Geek Radio Show on News Talk 99.5 WRNO. And we're joined by New York Times bestselling author, Miss Naomi Novik. How are you?
Good to be here.
Oh, fantastic. So, the last time you were here with us was all the way back December 10th of 2015 when we were talking about your book, Uprooted.
Mm-hmm.
And, no, I mean, it's been a while, but it goes by quick. Now, one thing I noticed before we get to the new stuff is that Uprooted has a limited edition coming out, right?
Yes. This is really quite exciting. Sean Speakman, who some of your listeners may know, he does the Unfettered anthologies.
Okay.
And he happens to also be my webmaster. And I think it was like a year or so ago, he said, I would really love to just bring on an artist and do a full limited edition, beautiful hardcover illustrated version of Uprooted. And I said, sure, sounds great. And he went into it and he got Donato Giancola. So that is kind of like, it's sort of like the winning the World Series in terms of the artists, that you can get to work on a project. And it's just spectacular. He's been posting the art on Facebook and I mean, it's truly incredible.
Well,
so that's been really exciting.
Well, and what I've seen online is absolutely stunning. Now, when will that be available? When can folks get that?
Do you know, I don't actually know. I think it's pretty close.
Okay.
I think the cover art is done. I think Sean is actually working on the sort of the final layout design of the book and putting all the illustrations into the flow. I think that's literally happening as we speak. So not much longer.
Well, and I know that folks can pre-order it. I know it's out there. So,
yes.
All right. Well, good deal. Well, Uprooted is a good segue. Because if I'm not mistaken, Spinning Silver, which is your new book, is sort of based in the same world, drawing from Polish fairy tales, right?
I like to say that it's the next world over.
Okay.
Uprooted is sort of very much influenced by my mother's background and heritage. She's from Poland. She's a Polish Catholic whose family were sort of in their place for a really long time and very deeply rooted there. And she experienced leaving Poland as the process of being uprooted, which a lot of that kind of went into the book.
Okay.
Spinning Silver is really my father's side of the family. And they were Lithuanian Jews who sort of felt themselves besieged in their homeland. And their homeland itself also felt besieged. So it's a very different, it's sort of coming from a different place. And the stories I have from my father's side of the family, I had less fairy tales and more family stories.
Okay.
From them. So that's the two different places that the books are coming from, but they definitely they're both kind of taking place in the same fairy tale inspired space, I would say.
No, and that's fair. And I can definitely feel reading Spinning Silver. I can sort of feel that family oriented tales of things being told. But what I wanted to ask you is kind of right in the beginning, right in the opening, you bring up a fairy tale about
That's right.
a moneylender's daughter, or I'm not sorry, not a moneylender, a woman who goes to a moneylender to borrow money to buy jewels and a dress to impress the Lord, and of course doesn't work out, and the Lord leaves,
Right.
and she, accuses the moneylender of being in league with demons, and he gets run off, and everybody praises the girl, and of course she's the heroine of that story, but the focus here is like, hey man, she stole that dude's money. And where is that come from? Is that an actual story?
So, yeah, well, that's Rumpelstiltskin.
Oh, okay.
That is, yes. So the way Spinning Silver started was because I'd written Uprooted, I was invited to, I was asked to do a story for an anthology called The Starlit Wood, which was retellings of fairy tales. And every author got to pick a fairy tale from a long list, and I procrastinated until the list was quite short, as I am wont to do. And then Rumpelstiltskin was on the list. And looking at Rumpelstiltskin, I think Rumpelstiltskin is quite interesting in the ways in which it sort of doesn't actually follow some of the typical rules of fairy tale justice.
Okay.
The miller is the one who lies. He brags about his daughter being able to spin straw into gold, and yet he's not actually punished. The girl gets punished. The girl doesn't really do anything to save herself, except at the end when she guesses Rumpelstiltskin's name. And the story, obviously, it has a bunch of anti-Semitic tropes in it. The appearance of Rumpelstiltskin, the sense of usurious lending of gold. And I thought that it kind of struck a chord with that family experience I was describing.
Right.
And I sort of thought, that there was something happening that I could feel that I had a way to have a conversation with Rumpelstiltskin. And I thought, and this character, Miriam, started coming to me, and she, so that description at the start of the book is her interpretation of Rumpelstiltskin.
Right.
Right? So the story of Rumpelstiltskin, she sees it in this completely hostile way. She views the story as an attack on her, and that's kind of her mental, the way she says, this is the real story. This is what the story would be in the real world, as opposed to this cute little fairy tale of the miller's daughter who gets saved by this little imp. She sees that she identifies with the imp,
right,
as opposed to with the daughter, with the miller's daughter.
And you bring up something good. You brought up Miriam, and as I'm reading through this, right, we really kind of have three protagonists, right? We have Miriam, who is the moneylender's daughter. We have Wanda, who is the poor farmer's daughter, and then we have Irina, who is the daughter of a duke. If you can kind of set the stage for these three characters for us.
Yeah, so as I said, originally was writing it as a short story.
Okay.
And the short story is entirely from Miriam's point of view. It's very much her story. But the thing that was interesting to me was, as I wrote it, Wanda appears in it as a secondary character, and Irina appears in it as a secondary character. And Miriam kind of gets them wrong. She doesn't really completely see them as people in her own, she's focused, obviously, as we all are, right? We're all focused on our own lives in some sense.
Right.
And she doesn't quite make the jump in the short story to seeing them as whole people of their own. And
Okay.
I knew that I kind of wanted that. What I wanted in the novel was for each of them to tell their own stories, and for all three stories to kind of have to interlock and intertwine, and for that to almost be the way that all three of them saved themselves and each other, that they all had to kind of come together to make it through the events.
Well, now, and you wove it together beautifully. I just, I enjoyed so much reading this book. Great characterization, absolutely. And of course, that's going to be on bookstands July 10th, right?
That's right.
All right, cool. Let me ask real quick. We are kind of getting close to a commercial break. Where are you going to be? I know you're going to start, promoting this being out. Are you going to be anywhere down in the South anytime soon?
I am going to be in Atlanta for DragonCon.
Oh, nice.
Which I'd love to go to. Yes. So I'm super excited to be down there. Sadly, I still got a small child, so I tend to keep my travel where I can get to and back in a day, or where I have family or friends so I can take her with me. So I'm doing, the New York, Boston, DC thing. I am going to San Diego Comic-Con.
Okay.
So I will be there for any fans who are making it out there. And other than that, yeah, it's going to be Atlanta for Dragon Con.
No, that's fantastic. I mean, hey, look, Dragon Con's only 8 hours away from us. One of my most favorite conventions to attend, and I would love to see you there, definitely. So how can folks keep up with you, find you out on social media, find out more about Spinning Silver?
I'm on Facebook, Naomi Novik. I'm on Twitter, also Naomi Novik. I have a website, naominovik.com. And yeah, usually I try to also check in on Goodreads a lot, because I love when people leave me questions there, because it's a way to answer questions that then stay there and people can read the answers when they come to the site. And yeah, so I'd love to hear from people about it.
The last thing, I know you've got projects, things that you're constantly working on. Any tidbits you can give us going out?
Well, actually, right now I'm working on a bunch of short stories, including one for another anthology from the same people who did the Starla Wood anthology.
Okay.
This one's about myths and sort of retellings of myths. And so it's a story about the labyrinth and the Minotaur, which is kind of fun.
Nice. I can't wait to hear or read it. Awesome.
Great.
Well, Naomi, thank you so much for taking the time today, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
All right, gang, stay tuned. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
Boldly going where no bar has gone before. The Bad Wolf is a bar, restaurant, and game shop all in one. You can't beat our specialty drinks, fresh food, and a variety of RPGs, board games, and miniature games for sale or rent. Stop by and hang out, or attend one of our regularly scheduled events, all in a non-smoking environment. The Bad Wolf Bar and Grill is located at 2010 O'Connor Street in Gretna, or find us at badwolfbar.com. The Bad Wolf Bar and Grill, where everybody knows your game. You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as My Enemy's Tears, Goth Librarian, Cyberpunk, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
Do you have a message or logo that you need the world to see? Then rely on the folks at Gretna Signworks to use their expertise to deliver your design. With over 15 years in business, Gretna Signworks can do commercial and yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, magnetic signs, vehicle graphics and lettering, and so much more. Gretna Signworks also has an exceptional network of suppliers, so no job is out of scope. Find Gretna Signworks on Facebook or visit them at 2125 Bell Chase Highway today.
Mata Hari, Agent H21, is a spy fiction short story anthology about the famous dancer, seductress, and spy from World War I. Mata Hari, Agent H21, published by Pro Se Productions, has 7 rip-roaring adventure tales about the world-famous super spy that features her battling her enemies by using any weapons at her disposal. Mata Hari, Agent H21 is available for purchase in ebook and paperback formats on Amazon.com.
Black Tie Tans, the premier mobile spray tanning professionals of New Orleans. Black Tie Tans will come to you and give you a natural glistening glow on the go. First-time customers get 20% off their first tan. Find them on Facebook at Black Tie Tans or email them at blacktitans@gmail.com to set your appointment. Going to a wedding? Going out to the club? Black Tie Tans will give you the look you need. Black Tie Tans. Tell your pale friends.
This is Captain Rex, troopers, and you're listening to The Week in Geek. Now move out.
Welcome back into the Week in Geek. Oh my God, sun is on my brain and baking it into. Welcome back into the Week in Geek. I'm your host, D-Squared with
Brian Held.
Holy crap. And just to make things worse, we have to go and talk to my least favorite guy in the world.
Come on.
Why?
I am not what you would call a handsome man.
Scungy's Pick of the Week is brought to you by GameStop and ThinkGeek.com.
Scungy's Pick of the Week.
You might be an idiot savant.
Woohoo!
Scungy, what's shaking, bacon? I hate because I love.
You do love me. You know that.
I do.
You just don't like to admit it in public.
It's all a charade.
It's a charade.
All right, man. What are we talking about today, big guy?
We're talking about the Dead Space trilogy of games.
Okay.
So,
Is it free? Is it new?
Well, it's the third one is free right now on Games with Gold for Xbox Live.
Okay.
So that's kind of what sparked this, because I was like, I'm going to go back and look at this series again, because this is a really, really cool series. Now, if you are a horror fan, if you like, suspenseful games, this is one of the best ones ever made.
Horror fan.
Yes.
That's what I said.
Okay. Booty trap. That's what I said. Booty trap.
That's what I said. So this series is about following this gentleman named Isaac. Now, he is a engineer where he goes to this ship, and it's in space. This game is very reminiscent of stuff like Aliens, The Thing, Event Horizon.
Okay.
Those movies. So there's
all except Event Horizon I'm down with.
Yeah.
Oh, that movie still scares the crap out of me. The whole ship is infested with these things called necromorphs, and they're these really gnarly looking aliens and everything. They have like tons of limbs on them, and what you got to do is you use very weird weapons, like ones that are not normally used as weapons, like bolt cutters or like saw blades, used like engineering tools that you use as weapons to like cut off their limbs, because that's how you stop them.
Okay.
Interesting.
So it's a very gory game, but
it's a game of amputation. It's like Operation, but gory.
It is so frightening because it's got that haunted house in space kind of feel, like the original Alien had, where you're hearing stuff. The sound engineering in these games are unbelievable. I mean, they do a really good job of putting you in that atmosphere of, science. There's zero-G segments of it where you're weightless and you're trying to fight these things, and it has really great physics because, you're going to fire a pistol or something, well, you're going to go flying backwards because of the force.
Pew, pew.
And I'm guessing there's a whole lot of jump scares a la BioShock?
Oh, yes. There's a lot of jump scares and stuff that's very, very disturbing. In fact, for the second game, they ran a campaign for, they took gamers' mothers and they sat them in the chair and they let them see like all the gore from the second one and going, would you show this game to your mother?
Oh, geez.
It was ridiculous, but they had video of them like screaming and jumping and covering their eyes and everything. It was really interesting way to promote the game. But yeah, so there's the first one, the second one, and the third one. And the third one's set in a frozen planet. So the first two are set in a, that haunted house in space, that kind of derelict rig that's floating through space.
And these necromorphs that are the enemy in the game, are they like, do they transform into different stuff? They're all like very different. Like, they all look, they look like they came from the same universe, but they all look different. Like they'll have arms in different places, or one will have like spikes instead of hands and stuff like that. All right.
It's a very wide variety of enemies, and you have to tackle them all. And it's kind of like that survival horror game where you've got to conserve your ammo because you don't know, should I use this weapon now because I don't know what's going to be around the next corner. Am I going to need that?
Man, it sounds like a little bit of The Thing sprinkled in there too.
It is. It's really, I really enjoy this series. But I like scary games, and this was definitely up there. And it's backwards compatible with the Xbox One, so they were all originally on the 360 and the PlayStation 3, but you can play them all on the Xbox One right now.
All right. And you said number 3 was free?
Number 3 is free right now, which number 3, the story of number 3 is like, of all 3 of them, it's got the weakest story, but it also has one of the best environments in the new frozen planet. And the gameplay on it, it's very replayable because all of them have the New Game Plus mode where you can go back with all of your upgrades and see how, and it gets a little bit more difficult. So you can try and see if you can max out your character. And 3 does that one the best. You can actually play through 3 multiple times.
All right. So do you know how much 1 and 2 cost now?
They're going to be no more between $10 and $20 for 1 and 2.
Okay.
And like I said, if you're a PlayStation, if you're an Xbox Gold member, you'll get 3 for free for this month.
Well, that's cool.
I like free. Big fan.
I know
of free.
you like.
Big
I know you
fan.
like free.
All right, cool. And what sort of playtime do you get out of it? Like, you know.
I would say each game is probably going to be around the 12 to 15 hour range.
Okay. So there's I'm guessing there's a narrative, right? And you kind of play through that?
Absolutely, yeah. There's a narrative. Like I said, you're playing this one character, and it's, he's trying to, fix the ship. He's trying to figure out, he answers a distress call and is trying to fix the ship, and then, winds up that, it's infested. So, standard, hey, get from point A to point B, and don't die while doing that.
All right. So it looks like Dead Space 4 is kind of in limbo right now, huh?
It is. EA has been kind of tight-lipped about it. They've been asked about it. In fact, they were a rumor, and people were hoping at this past E3 that they would have shown something on Dead Space 4 because, it's ripe for the picking on this generation because this kind of game will lend itself very well to the graphical capabilities of the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. And because it's got that whole atmosphere, and after seeing games like Resident Evil 7 that came out that did a fantastic job of that, this would be one that people feel it's time for it to come back.
All right. That's fair. Any kind of esports updates you got for us today?
No, it's kind of quiet. After the Overwatch League has kind of ended, and then you had EVO just ended, so you kind of, in a lull period, because right now everybody's going back to school. They don't like doing anything like this right after school starts.
We got Lucio Ball, right?
Lucio Ball.
Summer games are going on?
Yeah, you have the summer games going on in Overwatch, which you have all these really cool games, and Lucio Ball is one of the most fun games you'll ever play.
Ever?
Ever, forever.
All right, fine.
Cool.
It's free, and you get a whole bunch of new skins and whatnot. One of the most popular one is the Grill Master 76 skin.
Oh, yeah, with Soldier 76.
Yeah, as he's got like the apron and the barbecue tongs and everything. And
yeah,
it's like
raise the stakes.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
They've gone crazy with that. There's merchandising all over the place just for that character.
No, that's good stuff. And I think at the end of August is when the World Cup for Overwatch starts, right?
Yeah. You're going to have the World Cup start in August. And then, otherwise in esports, Madden is getting ready to start, their season up. So you're going to have a big E-League with Madden because that's the granddaddy of them all. Madden is one of the ones that started esports.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
And you're gonna have, and there's a lot of prize money to be won for that one. And they actually do some tournaments, local tournaments at different bar rooms and everything like that in the area for Madden.
Nice.
Yeah, we need to get in touch with the IGL guys because they always kick something off around this time.
Yeah, that's true. And I thought it was interesting, too. Did you see there was a Dota 2 tournament between some of the top players in the world and an AI that was built to play? Did you catch any of that?
I read about it. Yeah, that's crazy. That's now they're not only taking the robots are not only taking our jobs, now they're playing our games for us. Come on.
I'm telling you, man.
Well, with Twitch, everybody likes to watch the games played. You could just have a computer play the game and just watch it.
Whatever.
Cool.
All right, Scungy, you're fired. Get the hell out of here.
Thank you, Scungy.
Yay, I'm fired again.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Later, man.
Later.
All right, Brian. What do we got coming up next?
Well, when we come back from this short commercial break, we'll have our guest Damon Breland talk all about his Smitty's Super Service that he has out in Hattiesburg area. So stay tuned, guys. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
regularly going where no bar has gone before. The Bad Wolf is a bar, restaurant, and game shop all in one. You can't beat our specialty drinks, fresh food, and a variety of RPGs, board games, and miniature games for sale or rent. Stop by and hang out, or attend one of our regularly scheduled events, all in a non-smoking environment. The Bad Wolf Bar and Grill is located at 2010 O'Connor Street in Gretna, or find us at badwolfbar.com. The Bad Wolf Bar and Grill, where everybody knows your game.
Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, is now an audiobook read for you by Brian Held. It's a tale of a young girl from Tortuga who disguises herself as a boy and bluffs her way onto a pirate ship, chasing after her one true love, only to find adventure on the high seas. Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid is available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Get your copy of Jezebel Johnston today.
Do you have a message or logo that you need the world to see? Then rely on the folks at Gretna Signworks to use their expertise to deliver your design. With over 15 years in business, Gretna Signworks can do commercial and yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, magnetic signs, vehicle graphics and lettering, and so much more. Gretna Signworks also has an exceptional network of suppliers, so no job is out of scope. Find Gretna Signworks on Facebook or visit them at 2125 Belle Chase Highway today.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as My Enemy's Tears, Goth Librarian, Cyberpunk, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
Now, back to the Week in Geek with local celebrity Brian Held, hashtag LCBH. Here are your hosts, local celebrity Brian Held, and that other guy, what's his name again?
This is Brian Held with the Week in Geek radio show on News Talk 99.5 WRNO. And our guest this week is Mr. Damon Breland. I met him originally as a Louisiana Ghostbuster, but he has a special hobby that I wanted to talk to him about tonight. How are you, Damon?
I'm fine. Thank you, Brian. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm wonderful. So, a big Ghostbuster fan. I met you at a convention, and you have all the trappings of a Ghostbuster, right?
Yes. I believe we originally met at Wizard World.
Okay. Yeah, there's so many conventions out there. They're all a blur after a while. We love the Ghostbusters. You guys do so much great charity work out there. How long have you been into the Ghostbusters fandom?
I joined the Louisiana Ghostbusters about 5 years ago.
All right. Now, we could go on for a while about the Ghostbusters and the fandom and all the great things that you guys do, but why I really brought you on tonight is to talk about your love for the Rock-afire Explosion. And for those who don't know what that is, that's the old band or animatronic band that was at Chuck E. Cheese, right?
Well, partially correct. The Rock-afire Explosion were actually Showbiz Pizza Place's animatronic band. That was right. Chuck E. Cheese's competition during the 80s.
Okay. All right. You are a big fan of, I remember that fondly as a kid, but you actually took it to the next level. You went out and rebuilt the Rock-afire Explosion, right?
It's been a labor of love. It took a long time to put everything together. I started with pretty much the bare armatures that were underneath. And after 4 years of work, I was able to get all of the parts necessary, put them back into a fully functional band again. They're actually installed here at my house. I've got a building out front that they're in that was actually an old service station. So that's where the Smitty Super Service comes in, because Billy Bob at Showbiz worked at the fictitious Smitty Super Service. So that's just what I took on as my mantle to name my place.
Man, that is so crazy. That's so much dedication to something that you loved as a kid to actually rebuild this stuff. Where do you find the old parts and things to rebuild the Rock-afire Explosion?
There's actually a whole fandom community of us who work together and strive to find those parts. A lot of the cylinders are still available from manufacturers. The airlines are still accessible. The harder parts are the cosmetics, latex, and costumes, but a lot of people have now gotten to where they are able to reproduce those also.
Wow. Now, so you're just assembling this stuff. Are you, like, doing molding and casting of different parts on site? Are you doing that stuff?
No, I am not doing any of the molding and casting on site. There's just a few people that have that capability, and I am not one of them.
That's fair. Now, when, the Rock-afire Explosion was out there in showbiz, they had some original tunes that they played, but you've kind of reprogrammed that to play other music, right?
Well, I do have all of the original catalog that was available during Showbiz. I do have it available. We've digitized all of it, so it's accessible via computer files. But we also now have a program to where we can program new stuff. We actually had a documentary that was filmed, it's actually been 10 years ago now.
Wow.
And the directors of that documentary actually saw one of our friends program Miss New Booty.
Okay.
As crazy as it was, Miss New Booty got over 2 million views on YouTube with the Rock-afire singing it. It was a lip sync, and that was the catalyst for the documentary being made. So we have the capability of programming all of those new shows, but it's very, very tedious and time-consuming to do it.
Okay. Well, what's some of the new music that you have available?
Some of the newer music that we have available is we have some Katy Perry, Firework. Recently, we were able to acquire CeeLo's Green. Well, we actually had to tone it down a little bit. It's Poo on You now.
Okay.
But we can also do a lip sync of any song. But what we've tried to do is actually get some of the original voice actors that voiced those shows originally to do some of the voices for us also, so that it is more original.
Wow, how cool is that? So you're interacting with these old voice actors, right?
Don't call them old. That would offend them.
Sorry. These voice actors from who previously did it. Yeah.
Right. Originally, the band was out of Orlando, Florida. That was where the company that manufactured the characters were based. Most of them are still in that area. A few of them have, moved outside the area. One of the members of that group is actually now in Belle Chase, which is right down your way.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Well, I'm sure that people are asking in their minds right now, how do I see this? How do I get a chance to relive my childhood? Is the shop open to people?
Well, I do have a regular, job. I have a 40-hour-a-week job. Smitty's is my passion, my hobby, my labor of love. I open on weekends by appointment. I have a website. I have a Facebook, and YouTube has all the videos. Anybody can find me if they look for Smitty Super Service in Mississippi. And I have a website that gives you an email address. You can send me an email, and we can set up an appointment for you to come out and visit.
Wow. All right. And what all is there to do once you get to Smitty's Superstation? I mean, obviously you're there to see the Rock-afire Explosion, but you have a few other things available as well, right?
I have a few of the kiddie amusement type rides that were available during that time era. I have a large collection of memorabilia, merchandise that was available, a lot of the wall art, the posters, and just recently I was able to acquire an old Chuck E. Cheese band too. So I actually have dueling bands now at Smitty's. I have Chuck E. Cheese on one wall of the competition and Showbiz on the opposite.
How incredible is that? You have pizza available as well, right?
It is BYO anything.
Oh, all right. Fair
but
enough.
No, we do have Hunt Brothers right down the road.
Oh, okay. How incredible is that folks can come out and sort of relive their childhoods through this wonderful thing that you've done. So you mentioned that folks can find you on the net and social media. Can you give me all those links so folks can find it?
The easiest link would be my official website, which is www.smittysuperservice.com. And it also has a link from that website to my Facebook page.
All right. That's great. So just people need to get out there, find your page, and set up an appointment to come on out, right?
Yeah, we would love to introduce, whole new generations of kids. Parents usually bring their kids to introduce them to it, but I've learned that it's the parents who really want to relive it too.
Right. Wonderful. Well, Damon, thank you so much for taking the time to spend with us this evening, and I look forward to coming out to Smitty's on the 25th. We have a little party. We're going to be out there.
Yes, I'm looking forward to meeting you too and all your crew, Brian.
All right, gang, stay tuned. When we get back, we're going to close out this show as we always do with This Week in Geek History. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO. Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as My Enemy's Tears, Goth Librarian, Cyberpunk, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
Boldly going where no bar has gone before. The Bad Wolf is a bar, restaurant, and game shop all in one. You can't beat our specialty drinks, fresh food, and a variety of RPGs, board games, and miniature games for sale or rent. Stop by and hang out, or attend one of our regularly scheduled events, all in a non-smoking environment. The Bad Wolf Bar and Grill is located at 2010 O'Connor Street in Gretna, or find us at badwolfbar.com. The Bad Wolf Bar and Grill, where everybody knows your game.
Welcome back to The Week in Geek. Don't forget, you can listen to previous episodes on the iHeartRadio app at The Week in Geek Radio Show. Here are your hosts, D Squared and Brian Held.
That's right, voice guy. You can listen to previous episodes at the iHeartRadio app. But we also want to strongly urge you to check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/The Week in Geek. Check out our website at twigradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at Twig Radio, and the Instagram's The Week in Geek. Now, Brian, how can people listen to this lovely show?
Well, if you missed any part of tonight's show or you want to catch your favorite part again, you can always find us on Spreaker.com or download Spreaker for your smartphone or tablet. We're also on iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, Google Play, Castbox, iHeartRadio app, and WRNO.com.
What the hell is Cat's Box?
Castbox.
Oh, like you're casting or something?
Yeah, like podcasting. Box.
Oh, podcasting.
Yeah. But it's just Castbox, yes.
All right. I feel sometimes you're just making these up.
Look, there's so many of them out there where you can find us. I could just probably go on for a whole segment just talking about different podcasting locations.
You sure about that? Absolutely,
yes.
Positively? Absolutely. All right, you ready to do This Week in Geek History?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This Week in Geek History.
We're sending you back to the future! Yes! Oh my God!
This Week in Geek History is brought to you by Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, read by Brian Held. Available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. This Week in Geek History.
Yes! Oh my gosh!
Da-na-na, da-na-na. All right, Brian, we're in the home stretch. We ain't got much time. Let's do it.
All right, first item on my list, August 7th, 1981. Heavy Metal, an animated film starring John Candy, Eugene Levy, Marilyn Lightstone, and Harold Ramis is released.
That was a great movie, man.
I love that
movie. It was my first cartoon boobs. I'll never forget it.
You're so ridiculous.
It's true. How old was it? What year was it coming out?
It was 81.
See, I was 6 years old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fond memories of those cartoon boobs.
Oh, jeez. All right, August 8th, 1999. The original run of Mystery Science Theater 3000 comes to an end with Danger Diabolik was their last movie.
I like people that make fun of other people.
Oh,
Schadenfreude. What's
course.
next?
What's next? August 9th, 1996. Starring Kurt Russell, Stacy Keach, Steve Buscemi, and Peter Fonda, it's...
Oh, my God.
Run, baby, run away.
Escape from L.A.
Oh, dang, man. Snake Plissken.
It's easily forgettable.
I know. That's when he was surfing with the. Oh, God, that was a
terrible sequel to a great film.
I know, man. I got Snake on my wall.
Yeah. On August 10th, 1675.
Jesus.
The foundation stone of the Royal Greenwich Observatory in London is laid by King Charles II, and it's best known as the location of the prime meridian, which gives its name to Greenwich Mean Time.
Isn't it Greenwich?
Well, Greenwich, yes.
We'll go with Greenwich.
All right. Sounds good.
So he laid some wood or like a stone?
A stone.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
August 11th, 1962. Spider-Man makes his first appearance in Amazing Fantasy number 15.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, Spidey. Amazing Fantasy, that's what it was?
Yeah.
For some reason, I always thought it was Amazing Stories.
No, Amazing Fantasy. And,
Dude, you remember that old TV show, Amazing Stories? Wasn't it Amazing Stories?
It was Amazing Stories, yeah.
I remember one of the first ones was like that B-52 bomber, and the dude he was stuck in the bubble turret, and he was going to die, but he drew a wheel, like a cartoon wheel.
Okay.
And then the wheel became kind of like, Who Framed Roger Rabbit-esque, and a cartoon wheel appeared on front of the B-52 bomber, and it landed.
Did that have anything to do with the Henson studio?
I think so. It was Spielberg, I thought, or something.
I don't remember.
I don't know. Somebody look that up.
Okay. Next thing on the list is August 13th, 1976. Sequel to 1973's Westworld. It's Future World with Peter Fonda and Yul Brynner.
Oh.
Yeah.
What about Jane Fonda?
No.
No Jane Fonda?
No, but actually I had a buddy of mine, I'm thinking it was Future World. He said the house that was featured in the movie in Houston was just recently sold. And he showed me the listing and everything. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. You could have bought that house.
Oh, damn.
All right. You ready for birthdays?
Sure.
All right. Let's see. On the 7th, Dave Duchovny.
Yeah. They call me that here at the office because they can't say DeCorbier.
Oh, that's sad.
When they page me in the building, it's Dave Duchovny, line 1.
And a pair with that on the 9th, Gillian Anderson.
Yes.
On the 10th, Claudia Christian from Babylon 5.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
On the 11th,
I partied with her. She's fun.
Oh, yeah. On the 11th, Chris Hemsworth.
Thor.
Yes. Also on the 11th, Ian McDermott.
Oh, really?
Yes, Palpatine.
We know each other. He's a friend from work.
And also on the 11th, Steve Wozniak, who was
Steve from Steve Jobs' guy, his friend.
Right.
Yeah,
one
his
of the
rival.
Founders of,
technically,
no, he was one of the founders of Apple.
No, but it was,
he was the smart
friend.
one.
Right, friend, but not really a friend.
Uh-huh.
All right, Brian. Well, that's almost the show right now. So, what do we got going on next week, man?
Well, of course, our friends up in Shreveport are going to be going to GeekCon.
Shreveport, we have friends in Shreveport.
We absolutely do.
Okay.
Yeah. So
maybe you do.
Yeah, right. That's going on up there, and then of course. Here at home, we're going to have the New Orleans Oddities and Curiosities Expo over at the Hilario Center.
That sounds weird. What is that?
Is
that the thing where they got like cats and formaldehyde?
Yeah,
convention?
oddities, taxidermy, wet specimens, antiques.
Is that the formaldehyde?
I'm guessing, yes. Antiques, odd jewelry, unusual art, bones. Curiosities and all around creepy, strange, and bizarre items is what their page says.
I don't even know how to feel about this. I'm oddly aroused, but strangely, I don't know, turned off.
Okay.
Well, I feel a little ill.
That looks like it's a one-day event just on Saturday, but if you want to check that out, that's at the Hilario Center, and tickets are available on their Facebook page if you want to check it out.
Huzzah. All right, Brian. That's it. So let's get the hell out of here.
All right.
I'm tired and I hate Jefferson Parish.
All right.
You heard me, JP. Till next time, keep your nerd flag raised high.
GFL.
Your new home for Walton and Johnson. News Talk 99.5 WRNO FM, New Orleans, an iHeart radio station.